sit back and really let it register. I did everything I said I would and said it first. I mean, the world's in denial, but they all know what I'm headed for. We about to feed these youngins to the metaverse. Meanwhile, I'm over here just trying to pen a verse. Cause I'm done being extra with the extroverts. The label used to wonder how I'm supposed to stand next to Vert. Probably never thought that I would get these legs to work. I work hard, but hard shit don't need no extra work. That's why I show up in a sweatshirt and let it burn. The world's mine, I just say fuck it, let it turn. The girl's mine, I just say fuck it, have it turn. The ghosts call me to the side like, can we have a word? I could've fronted, but I did this shit how I preferred. I know I should be humble, but it's something I just haven't learned. Soon enough, I had to make these bad habits burn. Soon enough, we about to come and get the shit we earn. You're not a fan now, but I remember when you used to be fanned out. I guess when the whole world loves you, people only got one way to stand out. All that time in the kitchen finally panned out. I put some flavor in the pot and took the blend out. I know my grandpa would have a heart attack if I pulled $100 grand out. So I'm not gonna pull $100 grand out. I'm hip hop, do you fully understand? I'm fully automatic with the jams and it don't jam. At the shows I'm about to start handing out programs, cause y'all need to get with the program. I'm a grown ass man, call me Pops, fuck around and take your phone ass man. Everybody know Jack, but they don't know Jack, man. They just know I got the flows and the hoes and the packed out shows. Ain't too many cons when you playing with the pros, except for how your life get exposed. But I make that sacrifice for the life that I chose. I know in Toronto they got salt for the roads, but school's closed in Kentucky, so I like when it snowed. The kids carry chopsticks, not for rice in a bowl. School counselors all know how they life is at home. Cold like the Minnesota Vikings at home. Before I met Drizzy, I knew he and I would get along. But it's hard to crack jokes when you really want advice. I mean, what's it like to touch gold every time you touch a mic? Touching heights, no one gets a touch in life. Fucking right, young bachelor, what's a wife? Once in a lifetime, till I say I want it twice. One of a kind, know yeah, everything is one of mine. Wanted posters with my face, they know who I'm wanted by. Yeah. Yeah. Cold hearts and heated floors, no parental guidance, I just see divorce. Therapy sessions, I'm in the waiting room reading Forbes. Abandonment issues, I'm getting treated for. How much water can I fit under the bridge before it overflows? My son's gotta learn that forgiveness is a lonely road. The crib's on his wheel like motorhomes. Niggas love to try and test us like they know what we own. Chubb's got the magazine cover like Rolling Stone, cause we already know how they rock, they throwing stones. Whenever you getting bigger, there's growing pains. I got enough pull to make the city start throwing games. I'm out here making a mockery. I got my realtor out here playing Monopoly. How can I address you when you don't own property? They only finesse you when you don't move properly. Destined for the win, but you don't get a prize out of me. I'm destined for the top, but you can't get a rise out of me. 750 for the round canaries and they glittering. Man, you niggas drop trash, you littering. I'm over-delivering to the point it's belittling. I mean, the PTSD is triggering, the profit is sickening, the stones are shimmering. Came from the north, but I got hot as fuck, so ain't no shivering. Yeah. Lucky me, people that don't fuck with me are linking up with people that don't fuck with me to fuck with me. This shit is getting ugly, and every situation is transactional, and everything they saying is irrational, and every way they moving is promotional. Everybody's acting irreplaceable, it's like they ain't disposable. My urges for revenge are uncontrollable. I know we're getting older though. Yeah. But I gotta get a nigga back for that. It's non-negotiable, it's not even debatable. I'm getting so rich, my music's not even relatable. I blow a head up, it's an inflatable. Baby blue G-class, I feel like a kid again. Praying on my downfall, don't make you religious, man. All I hear is plug talk coming from middleman. All I hear is tall tales coming from little man. When I say bitch, I'm very rarely referring to women. Most of the bitches I know are niggas, they not even women. I know that sounds like I'm being funny, I'm not even kidding. Same ones that say they run the game when they not even in it. To be honest, y'all financial situation is my biggest motivation, and how you should take that statement is based on what you're making. Whips and chains like a dominatrix. If I see you, I spit in your faces. Daytonas with the green faces, Kentucky Derby races. My presence in the spot is so abrasive. Box at the Churchill Downs, that's motivation. Yeah. And shorty like, you know that boy Jack is going places. I know. Yeah.
Good ladies and gentlemen, once again, as always, Miguel Magallon! And as always, President, Founder, CEO of Magallon Entertainment! Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to the podcast. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back this evening. And ladies and gentlemen, tonight, I have a very special clip for you. Tonight, I got a lot of important info for you. Tonight, I got a lot of fucking heat for you. Ladies and gentlemen, tonight, I'm going to talk about everything. And I'm going to talk about fucking everyone. I'm going to talk about Apple. I'm going to talk about Facebook. I'm going to talk about Google. I'm going to talk about Microsoft. I'm going to talk about Amazon. I'm going to talk about Ford, Ferrari, GM, Toyota, Lamborghini, and Tesla. Tonight, I'm going to talk about Bitcoin. Tonight, I'm going to talk about this economy. Tonight, I'm going to talk about the healthcare system. Tonight, I am going to talk about the future of the markets and the future of the global economy, as well as the future of the fucking free world. So ladies and gentlemen, when I'm about to teach you some shit, when I'm about to educate you on shit, when I'm about to drop knowledge on this bitch, you already know what time it is on my podcast. Ladies and gentlemen, get the pen in the pad, get the pen in the pad, get the pen and the motherfucking pads! And let us begin learning. All right. So over the weekend, past couple days, as you guys know, for those of you guys who listen to the podcast every day, last week we had probably the most important earnings week, probably in the last 6 months. It is the first earnings season of 2023. It is the most important earnings season of 2023. And what we got an opportunity to do as investors, right, portfolio managers such as myself, we got a chance to listen to pretty much every single company in the S&P 500, every single major corporation in the Fortune 500. We got a chance to listen to all of the companies in the big mega cap tech. We got a lot of chance to listen to the CEOs of all the industrial companies. We got a chance to listen to the CEO of pretty much every important company in the entire New York Stock Exchange, and for the most part in the entire free world. And last week was really important because when you have the CEOs of every major corporation in America come out and report earnings, it's not just about how much money they made in 2022 versus how much they were expected to make in 2022. It's also about how did the end of 2022 look like and how does the beginning of 2023 look like. It is about, hey, everyone keeps saying that the economy is in a downturn. Everyone, keeps saying on social media and Facebook and YouTube and the general on this podcast that the U.S. economy is headed into a recession. Everyone is worried about the health of the consumer, financial health. Everyone is worried about the labor market, the job market. Everyone's definitely, has their eye on inflation and what inflation is looking like. If inflation is starting to pick up again, everyone's worried about the unemployment rate, all of these layoffs, inflation, how much disposable income are people making, what's the state of the consumer, what's the future of the economy, what's going on with interest rates, what's going on with mortgage rates, what's going on with yield curves. Like, we have a lot of questions for these CEOs. And so for the last 2 or 3 weeks, pretty much every major company in the world, again, from Tesla to Amazon to Apple to Microsoft to Google to Netflix to Facebook to Ford, GM, Ferrari, Lamborghini, Maserati. I mean, all these companies are basically coming out on earnings day after day after day after day after day for the last 2-3 weeks, almost for a month now. And we've gotten a lot of insight. We've gotten a lot of information. Analysts have been able to ask a lot of questions. And we've been trying to navigate this economy, trying to navigate expectations for this economy, and trying to navigate and figure out where the stock market should be trading at right now and what in the holy fuck is going to happen with this Federal Reserve, what is going to happen with inflation, and what is going to happen in the workforce as a result of Federal Reserve rate hikes and the war against inflation. And what is going on with supply chain issues? You know, what's going on with Russia, Ukraine? What's going on, you know what I mean, here? What's going on there? What's going on with your consumers? What's going on with your profit margins? What's going on with your gross margin? What's going on with your payroll expenses? I mean, pretty much for the last 2-3 weeks, for the last month now, all these analysts have just been all up in that ass, trying to ask these CEOs every single question that they can, and just trying to get a sense of, like, again, where is the economy? Where is the state of the consumer? What's the health of the consumer? How much discretionary income do they have? How much disposable income do they have? How much more money are they going to continue to spend on stupid shit? What's going on with rent? What's going on with mortgages? What's going on with auto loans? What's going on with credit card debt? What's going on with the savings rate? What's going on with, discretionary spending? What's going on with this? What's going on with that? And these companies, they've all reported earnings. They've filed all of their, income statements. They filed all their paperwork, and the CEOs got on those earnings call, and they pretty much, had to answer all of these questions by all of the analysts, all of the investors, and by all of the big hedge funds and investment firms. And over the weekend, because there's so many of them that reported earnings last week and even 2 weeks ago, a lot of investors like myself, portfolio managers like myself, we pretty much spent the weekend just listening to earnings report after earnings report after earnings report after earnings report after earnings report, taking down notes, doing the research, doing the analytics, trying to do the forensic analysis, trying to do quantitative analysis. I mean, we've done it all up in this motherfucker. It's a lot of fucking work, guys. It ain't easy. It's a lot of fucking work. But, we do the work because why? We want to become rich as fuck. We want to outperform the stock market. We want to outperform the mutual funds. We want to outperform the index funds. We want to outperform passive investing funds. We're here to get paid. We're here to make moolah. We're here to make dinero. We're here to make feria. We're here so we can no longer have to work paycheck to paycheck, hands on our fucking knees to the day we fucking die. We're here so we can get rich as fuck. We're here to get fucking paid. So, what do? We do the work, we do the research, we do the studying, we take notes, we fucking do predictive analytics. And after pretty much an entire weekend and days on days on days of just doing a lot of earning reports, and that's why I haven't made a lot of clips lately, by the way. I know a lot of you guys have been asking me, how come I took, a week off and I only made like 2-3 clips last week. The reason is because we had the Federal Reserve come out on their press conference, but we also had companies reporting earnings all of last week and the week before and the week before that too. So for the last 2 or 3 weeks, I haven't been able to, make that many clips, just because, again, it's just a lot of studying, it's a lot of research, it's a lot of note taking, it's a lot of analysis, it's a lot of, predictions, and that takes time, it takes energy, it takes effort, it takes fucking, it takes a toll on you. So I wasn't able to record that many clips for the last like 2 or 3 weeks. I think I took like a week off, not that long ago. And I told you guys I was getting ready for the Federal Reserve press conference. I was getting ready for the next rate hike. I was getting ready for the next FOMC meeting. I made a clip before it. I made a clip after it. And, and I made a clip about, the reaction in the market after it. And so now here I am coming to you guys tonight. And I finally got a chance to catch up on all these earnings calls, got a chance to listen to every single earnings call, got a chance to look at all of their financial statements, all of their income statements, all of their balance sheets, all of their financial reports, and got a chance to listen to what every single, commentator, analyst, investment firm had to ask them and what the CEO had to say in response to them. And after basically the last like 96 hours of just, doing homework, I decided to come back out tonight and make a special clip for everyone to let you guys know what my opinion is on the future of the economy, what my opinion is on the future of the free market, and what my opinion is about the financial future of the free world. And I think it really starts with the biggest companies in the world. You have to look at what Apple has to say. You have to listen to what Amazon has to say. Microsoft, Google, Facebook, Tesla, Walmart, Target, Costco. You have to look at all of the big companies in the world in the Fortune 500 because these companies pretty much own the world. These companies, run the world. These companies are the world because they're the ones that make all the money in the world. So, with that being said, I'm going to talk about a lot of these individual companies. I'm going to talk about a lot of sectors. I'm going to talk about a lot of industries. I'm going to tell you guys what I think about them as long-term investments. I'm going to tell you guys what I think about them as short-term investments. I'm going to talk about a lot of different things, from stocks to crypto to Bitcoin to real estate to vehicle sales to the EV movement. I'm probably even going to talk about charging stations. I'm going to talk about a lot of fucking shit tonight. So with that being said, ladies and gentlemen, I hope you guys are ready. You guys have to prepare to take a lot of notes, about this, on this podcast. And you're probably going to have to listen to this clip 2 or 3 times to make sure you guys got everything. But with that being said, this is probably going to be one of my most important clips of the year, probably a top 10 clip of 2023. I'm going to call it right now. This is going to be a top 10 clip for 2023. So with that being said, ladies and gentlemen, get that pen in the pad and let's begin to take notes. So the first company I want to talk about, ladies and gentlemen, is Apple. Apple reported earnings. Apple, let me see, what's Apple trading at right now? Apple's trading around like 145-ish right now, give or take, under 150. This stock, and let me pop up the stock chart. Most of you guys already know the ticker symbol. Ticker symbol for Apple is AAPL, right? A lot of you guys are invested in Apple. Most of you guys love Apple. Everyone has heard of Apple. This is, probably the biggest company in the world. The company's worth almost $3 trillion in market cap. So it's pretty significant, not just in terms of the economy, the global economy at that, but it's also very important for our stock market because this is probably the most commonly held stock in every single mutual fund, every single hedge fund, every single pension fund, every single retirement fund, and every single passive investment fund in the entire New York Stock Exchange. So pretty much every single institutional investor in the world owns Apple inside their portfolios. So with that being said, it's pretty important what they have to fucking say. Not just in terms of they're the most important company because this is the most publicly held stock in the world, but also because they make the most money in the world. Again, we all know the business model up in here. It's make a phone in China for $5, sell it to here to the dumb bitches for $5,000. Why? Because no one cares how much the phone costs as long as their monthly payments are cheap. Can I get an amen? So, with that being said, this stock, if I look at the 1-year chart for Apple kind of topped off probably a year ago around $180. That was kind of like the peak of the stock. If you look at the 52-week high, it's about 180. And you look at the 52-week low, it's around 124, 125. It hit its low, when was it? January? Yeah, earlier this year. At the beginning of this year, actually. The October low, which was when the stock market hit its low, for now, we'll see if it ends up breaking that low later. But the old low was around 130, 140. That's where it was back in October and then again in November, around 130, 135. But then it fell all the way down to 125 to start the year. And now here we are, 155. I mean, damn. It's definitely been ripping and running lately. But it's basically been in this range of basically 120 to 180. That's kind of like the range it's been at for a while. And a lot of people are trying to figure out, where's it going to go next? Because it used to be 180, fell all the way to 120, and what's in between 180 and 120? Oh, go figure, 150. So it's literally in the middle of the fucking range right now. Again, all-time high was around 180, which is the 52-week high, and then the recent low was 125. So 155, yeah, we're basically dead in the middle of that range. And everyone wants to know, are we going to go higher and go back up to 180? Or are we going to go lower and come down to 120 and maybe even go below 120, right? Now, I'm going to give you guys my stock prediction now for Apple and my inclination, right? My prediction, my belief, okay? And this is just me, okay? This isn't Bob or some bitch-ass YouTuber or some stupid-ass motherfucker on Twitter. None of that. This is me, the motherfucking general, telling you guys tonight what my prediction is. My prediction is we probably go back to that 120, and if anything, I think we break lower. I think if you guys don't own Apple, but you guys want to own Apple, I think you're going to get a better buying opportunity, and I believe Apple could probably get to, I wouldn't be surprised if we get to at least 110, but I don't think we break below 100. I think the lowest we can go is probably $99.99, which is $99.99. And the reason I think that would be the absolute floor, I don't really think we break below $99.99 in a meaningful, significant way. So, I mean, we could go to like $98.99, I guess, but that's not really breaking below it. Like, you know, what I'm saying is you're not gonna see Apple in the 80s. Fuck no. But I think the absolute low, or relatively speaking, the absolute low is probably going to be around $99.99 if it gets there. And, I think the reason that would be the absolute low is because if you start to see Apple break down again and go back to 130 and then go back to 120, 125, and then all of a sudden you see Apple around 110, 115, I think what you're going to see every retail trader do, every institutional investor do, every hedge fund do, every portfolio manager do, they're going to take a fuck ton of cash and they're going to start stacking their cash position, and they're all going to put a limit order on Apple around $99.99. And if these institutional investors, and all these professional, you know, portfolio managers, if they get an opportunity to load up on Apple around $99.99, basically a hundo, if they get an opportunity to load up on more Apple stock, basically 50% off its all-time high, which was around like 180, 190, if they get a 50% discount on Apple, again, Mr. Make a phone in China for 5, sell it here for 5,000 to your bitch ass because you don't care how much the phone costs. All you care about is how much is the monthly payment. It doesn't matter if it takes you 5 years to pay off the fucking phone, but you gotta fucking do it because you gotta do it for the fucking gram. I mean, I'm telling you, motherfuckers be like, I don't understand this mentality, especially millennials, because it's not boomers. Boomers don't care. Boomers be fucking using phones from like 14 years ago. It's not boomers, and it's not Gen Zs, because most Gen Zs don't even work. They don't even have a job yet. They're barely graduating college and high school, so it's not Gen Zs. It's mostly millennials. It's your bitch ass. Millennials out here, I don't know what it is. They just keep trying to upgrade the new iPhone every single year, every single cycle. Like, I never understood the point of all these motherfuckers standing in line outside the store and be like, ooh, I'm ready, trying to line up to get a fucking new iPhone. Like, bro, it's not gonna make you more successful. You're still stupid. You're still a dumbass. You're like, what are you talking about? And it's like the people that wear the fucking $5,000 Jordans. Like, look at me, look at my Jordans. They cost $3,000. Cool, bro. You're still a loser who lives at his mama house. What the fuck are we doing right now? I'm telling you, most millennials, you know, and I am one, so I'll call it what it is. Most millennials are stupid. Like, they think having the new iPhone or a fucking fresh pair of $3,000 Jordans is going to make them more successful in life, or it's going to make me look at you more highly. Like, no, bro. I don't care how much your shoes cost. I care how much your portfolio cost. Like, I care about how much your net worth costs. I care about where you live in and how you live in. The fuck got to do with your fucking $3,000 pair of shoes, but your kids out here looking all raggedy as shit? What the fuck that got to do with that? You know what I mean? Like, I just don't get it. Ooh, I got the new iPhone this year. Look at me. I'm like, cool, bro. Like, nobody likes you. All those people on your phone, they don't really like you. I mean, they'll kick it with you, but they don't really fuck with you like that. You know what I mean? What do I always say about, you know, the homies, millennials? What do I always tell you about your homies? You could die today and they'll try to fuck your wife tomorrow. Don't stop fucking trying to live for the homie. Live for you. Live for your future. Live for your kids. But motherfuckers just don't get it. I don't understand how many times I have to say that on the podcast. So, but anyways, I don't know. People like these, again, it's just millennials, because it's not boomers. Boomers do not care about the new iPhone. Boomers, if it was up to boomers, they would still be using fucking pagers. Like, you know what I mean? Boomers don't care. And Gen Zs ain't got no money. You know, Gen Zs are on some weird shit. Gen Zs are different. I don't know what else to say about them. Gen Zs are different. I talk to a lot of Gen Zs. I know a lot of Gen Zs. They are very different. They don't really obsess over the materialistic things as you would expect. They're very different in that way. Mostly because they're probably broke as fuck. But still, like, Gen Zs are they're more about the environment and climate change and global warming, and they believe in recycling. And millennials, we're kind of just like, who gives a fuck? You know, like, Millennials, we're about that life. We want the materialistic things because we think it's going to get us, more pussy. We think it's going to make us look more successful. We think it's going to make us happy in life. It is what it is. For most millennials. I'm not saying all millennials are like this, but let's just call it what it is. Like most millennials, they really do think that way. They think the new iPhone or the new car or the new fucking, the Apple Watch or the fucking Nikes, like, you know what I mean? Like, it's just gonna make you happier. You know what I mean? Or you're gonna pull a bad bitch because she's gonna see that you have the new iPhone. Like, oh my God, like, what the fuck? But anyways, whatever. So, the point is, I don't see Apple really going down more than 50%. And a 50% cut from the all-time high, which is around 180, 190, 50% is basically 99.99. And I think if this stock breaks below 120 and starts to go to 110, 115, I think there's going to be a lot of institutional investors, professional money investors, professional portfolio managers, index manager, hedge fund managers, and they're going to be, because a lot of them still have a fuck ton of cash right now, because everyone's just putting their money inside T-bills, which is basically bonds. And for those of you guys who understand what I'm talking about, you know what I'm talking about. But if you don't know what I'm talking about, basically what I'm saying is there's a lot of institutional money managers, and there's a lot of rich people, and there's a lot of wealthy people. Again, two different levels, but all the rich people and all the wealthy people and all the fucking, all the fucking gringos with the dinero, they're basically stacked in a fuck ton of cash positions right now, or basically virtually cash position, because a 6-month T-bill or any kind of like 1-year bond, that's basically a cash position for the most part. And if they start to see Apple come down to like 110, 115, like I would not be surprised if some of these institutional managers start to cash out of their T-bills or cash out of their 1 or 2 year bonds early. They would have to forfeit all the profit, but they don't care because that's how much of a buying opportunity Apple stock would be to them. And I can see a lot of the big asset managers on Wall Street start to move heaven and earth just so they can get enough cash to buy Apple, sub $100. So again, I do not believe you're going to see Apple break down below $100 in a meaningful, significant way. I think $99.99 would basically be the floor, for the most part. I give it zero chance that it goes back into the 80s. Absolutely none, unless we go into an extreme recession, which could technically happen. And there's still a lot of people that believe it could happen and can happen. But unless outside of that, I don't see Apple stock going below, beneath 100 in a meaningful, significant way. So with that being said, right now, right here at 150 though, 150 is kind of tight because again, that's basically the middle ground between 180 and 120. We're basically here at 150. My inclination, my gut feeling, my prediction is we're probably going to head lower and we're going to start to retrace from here. And I think the easy target would be probably 120, but then I think we break below 120. And that's why I said I can see this stock probably headed to 110, 115. And I think around 110, 115 is when you can start to buy that dip, and you can start to load up on an Apple position if you really want one, you really need one, and you really believe in them. Then I would probably start to look to like pull the trigger and start to load the cannons around 110, 115. If you want to play it day by day and you have the time to do so, then yeah, I would wait to see if you can put a limit order in for like $100 even, and make it like a 10% position in your portfolio around basically $100. Now, am I going to buy Apple at $100? No, because I think there's other companies in the world that are starting to grow faster than Apple right now, and I'm looking for the next Apple, not the current Apple. And so just like Apple went from like $2 to $200 in 20 years, I think there's a lot of stocks right now on the stock market that are around $1 or $2 that can be the next stocks that go to $100, $200, $300. Again, there was once upon a time Apple stock was 99 cents and nobody believed in it. There was a time Apple stock was $1, $1.50. Nobody believed in it. There was a time Apple stock was $2, $3, $4, $5, $6. Nobody believed in it. But the people that did their research, the people that did their due diligence, they were loading up thousands of shares of Apple back when it was $2, $3, $4, back when it was 50, 60, 80 cents, 90 cents, 99 cents, right? And there were people that did their work, did their due diligence, did the fucking homework, did the research, did their studying, and guess what? They knew what Apple was about. They believed in Apple, the company. They believed in the future of Apple, and they were loading up an Apple stock when they came out with the first iPhone. And guess what? All those people that were buying Apple stock when they came out with the first iPhone and the second iPhone and the iPhone 3 and the iPhone 4, while all these other dumbasses were running around LA and New York and Chicago being like, ooh, I gotta get the new iPhone. Ooh, I gotta get the new iPhone. The real rich people, the real smart motherfuckers, the people who are wealthy now, guess what they were doing? They were saying, ooh, I gotta get the new Apple stock. Ooh, I gotta get more Apple stock. Ooh, I gotta get more Apple stock. Because they notice as everyone's running around like a fucking chicken with its head cut off, trying to go, ooh, 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 new Apple, ooh, a new iPhone. All these dumbasses doing that. Again, they don't care how much the phone costs as long as the monthly payment is cheap. When everyone else is doing that stupid shit, these motherfuckers were running around pulling the trigger on Wall Street, buying as much Apple stock as they could. Back when the stock was $20, back when the stock was $15, back when the stock was $12, $10, $9, $6, $5, $4, $3, $2, and $1. And now all those people, you know what we call them now on Wall Street? We call them rich as fuck. We call them multi-millionaires. And some of them eventually became billionaires. So again, it's not about how much you make, it's about how much you invest. So that's kind of my price target range right there for Apple. I think we're headed lower, but again, I think the market's headed lower in general, so I have to believe that Apple's going to lead the way lower. It's hit that 50% retracement. Again, between 180 and 120, you're basically 150, 155. I think we go lower from here, but again, I've been saying that for a long time now, and for the most part, I've been right. To me, this just feels like another bear market rally. We've gone through several bear market rallies already, and I think this is just another one. So again, if you're a long-term investor and you want to play defense here because you don't like to experience volatility, you don't like the up and downs, you don't like feeling like you're in a war zone, you don't want to be in a battlefield, you don't want the smoke, then again, if you don't have the fucking cojones to deal with that because you don't have the stomach to deal with that, that's fine. For you guys who want to be in defense, again, my recommendations is I would look at Costco stock because no matter what, people have to do two things in life. They have to pay the rent and they have to feed their wife and kids. So I would look at Costco. I would look at even Walmart to a certain degree. Again, are these stocks going to double? No, but they're going to keep your money safe. And for some of you, that's all you want to do right now is keep your money safe. So again, my two recommendations on that side would be Costco and Walmart because again, two things people have to do in America, pay their rent, feed their kids. And on the other side of the defensive table, I would look at Dollar Tree and Dollar General. Because as things continue to become really expensive and as people continue to get their hours cut back at work and as people have less and less money to spend on stupid shit, and if and when we end up heading into a recession, I thought we'd be closer to it by now, but we're not. It doesn't mean I still don't think we're going into one. I 1000% believe we're heading into one, but it's taking a little bit longer than a lot of the bears expected, but that's fine. Never forget, in 2007 and 2008, there was a lot of institutional investors that came out on Wall Street and told everyone to keep buying stocks because the stock market's not going to crash, the housing market's going to be okay, and everything was going to be rainbows and unicorns. And that's why a lot of people are still kind of like worried about trusting the banks or trusting any of these institutions right here, because the same people who are telling us that it's going to be okay and we're going to achieve a soft landing, these are the same bitch ass people who back in 2006, 2007, and even early 2008 were literally trying to tell us to keep buying more homes, keep buying more stocks, keep putting money into the portfolio, and don't worry about the economy. It's going to be A-okay. And, you know, people just got the jitters right now, but it's not nothing major. It's not anything serious. And a lot of people who were bears in 2006, 2007, 2008, 2009, people like Michael Burry, the legend himself, they were the ones on Wall Street and they were screaming that we were going to go into a great financial crisis. They were screaming at the top of their motherfucking lungs that the economy was headed into a recession. They were screaming at everyone they fucking knew, friends and family and acquaintances and professional fucking, you know, friends, that they need to start liquidating all their stocks, they need to start liquidating all their assets, they need to start selling everything, and they need to start raising a cash position because everything was going to crash, everything was going to fall, and you were going to get a buying opportunity of a lifetime. But in order to take advantage of that buying opportunity of a lifetime, you needed to have as much fucking cash as possible. But when people like Michael Burry and a lot of people back then, when they would say stuff like that on Wall Street, everyone would try to make fun of him, like, oh, he's a dumbass, oh, he's a moron, oh, he doesn't know what he's talking about, oh, he does, you know, he's all cap, this and that, you know what I mean? Like, They try to say he was a fucking sangano, a baboso, that didn't know what the fuck he was saying or talking about. And then all of a sudden we get to 08, 09, and the entire fucking world changed forever. And so now it's funny that those same people like Michael Burry, they're coming back now, and everyone's like, hey, Michael, everyone says we're going into a recession again, but all the bulls are telling us it's going to be okay and not to worry about it. But we don't know if we should trust them. We don't know if we should believe them, because these are the same bitch-ass motherfuckers that said the same thing in 06, 07, and last time we didn't believe you, we believed them instead of you. And we just kept, living our lives thinking everything was going to be okay. And next thing you know, I lost everything I had. I lost my career. I lost my pension. I lost my retirement account. I lost my 401k. I lost my house. I lost my career. I lost my healthcare coverage. And me and my wife almost ended up in a homeless shelter. So no offense to Bob, but fuck Bob. I can't afford to do that again, because now I'm 40, 50, 60, 70 years old, and I can't afford to lose everything I had. I can't afford to lose everything I ever worked for, because last time I was in my 20s, 30s, and 40s, and last time when I lost everything I had time on my side so I could bounce back. But now I'm in my 40s, 50s, 60s, and 70s. I don't got time. I don't have another 20 years in the workforce. I don't want to work another 20 years just to get back to where I am today. So, last time I trusted him over you, and when he told me in 06, 07 it was going to be fine, it was going to be okay, and nothing bad is going to happen, I believed him. But now, fuck him. I need to know, Michael, what do you think this time? You got it right last time. Doesn't mean you're going to get it right again, but damn it, your opinion's a lot more credible today, isn't it? So, what do you think? And Michael Burry continues to be a bear. Michael Burry continues to want to short the stock market. Michael Burry continues to want to short the economy, especially certain parts of the economy. So he's not shorting the entire economy, and, I'm not either, but he's shorting certain parts of the economy, because he thinks in every recession, some parts of the economy get hit harder than others. And so 08, 09, for example, the part that got hit the hardest was real estate, right? But in 2023, 2024, whenever this recession starts and ends, there'll be other parts that'll get hit harder than others. You see what I mean? So he's not shorting every part of the economy. He's shorting certain parts of the economy, but he believes that the economy overall is headed into a big recession. And he's not the only one. The CEO of Bank of America believes the same. The CEO of JP Morgan Chase says the same. The CEO of Wells Fargo says the same. The CEO of Citigroup says the same. CEO of Goldman Sachs says the same. CEO of BlackRock says the same. CEO of Blackstone says the same. And the CEO of Tesla, Elon Musk, says the fucking same. So that's why I continue to be super bearish, because whether you like Elon or don't like Elon, whether you trust the banks or don't trust the banks, whether you trust fucking, conspiracy people like the World Economic Forum or don't trust the World Economic Forum, at the very least, you know what we're going to say? We're not going to say they're stupid. Right? No one's ever going to say Elon Musk doesn't know what he's talking about. No one's ever going to say that Warren Buffett is stupid. No one ever says Bill Gates doesn't know anything about money. No one's ever going to say BlackRock doesn't know what's going to happen next. Right? You can hate them, you can love them, you can think that, a conspiracy theorist, you can think that they're fucking a saint, whatever your opinions on them. But what nobody will ever say is that they're stupid. No one will ever say is they're dumb. No one's ever going to say they don't know what the fuck they're talking about. So that's why I continue to be super bearish, because whether you like them or not, they're really fucking smart. They understand what's going on in the economy, and they understand what the future of the economy, right? So that's why I continue to be super bearish for several reasons more, but that's kind of like one of the main ones right there. So I'll turn bullish when Michael Burry turns bullish. I'll turn bullish when Elon Musk turns bullish. I'll turn bullish when Warren Buffett turns bullish. I'll turn bullish when the World Economic Forum turns bullish. I'll turn bullish when the CEO of Bank of America, Goldman Sachs, Merrill Lynch, Morgan Stanley, Citigroup, Wells Fargo, and JP Morgan turn bullish. That's when I'll start to be bullish, is when all those motherfuckers turn bullish. So, but until then, in the meantime, in between time, again, I'm not just a bear, I'm a mega fucking bear. So, that's my opinion right there on Apple stock. I think, I think you're going to get a better price. I think 110, 115 is probably in the cards. But if you guys want to put a limit order at $100, make it 10% of your portfolio, that's fine. Again, I'm not going to buy Apple ever again. I was buying Apple, I think I started buying Apple around 2013, 2014, and I sold all of my Apple stock in 2021. So I owned Apple stock for about 7 or 8 years. But then I left Apple stock around early 2021, and that's when I started getting more into crypto and Bitcoin, because I started looking at the next 10 years. Again, from 2010 to 2020, Apple made a lot of people a lot of fucking money. But then I felt like from 2020 to 2030, I think it's going to be things like crypto, Bitcoin, and Ethereum that make people a lot of fucking money. And so that's why, like, at the end of 2020, early 2021, this was when Bitcoin was between 10,000 and 20,000, in that range, which we're above that range now. But when Bitcoin was around 10,000 to 20,000, that's when I started leaving my Apple position, and I started dumping like big mega cap tech, Apple, Microsoft, Amazon, Netflix, Facebook, and I started investing in other things like crypto and Bitcoin, because I was like, man, Apple stock has made me a lot of money the last 10 years. Microsoft has made me a lot of money the last 10 years. Facebook, I've owned it since 2012. It's made me a shit ton of money. Google, I've been invested in Google since 2014. That made me a lot of money, right? But now I'm looking at it and I'm like, you know what? What's going to make me more money now in the next 10 years? And I made the decision that I think things like crypto and Bitcoin and big ones like Ethereum and Cardano, if I use 2020 to 2030 as a time frame, I think that's what's going to make me the most money. So again, it's not that Apple's a bad company or a bad investment or a bad stock to own in the long run. I think Apple stock can still do a 5x and a 10x this decade easily. I just think that other things are going to give me more than a 10x, and that's where I want to put my money into. Otherwise, I can just do passive investments, you know what I mean, and just let the stock market go up over time. So anyways, and then lastly, just on the future of Apple as a long-term investment, I think Apple's going to be fine even here, even if it gets to 110, 120, or it gets to 99.99. I still think Apple over the long run is going to be in the thousands. Now they have done stock splits in the past, so the only thing that can honestly stop them from going into the thousands is if they continue to do more and more stock splits, which they probably do. They probably will. But other than that, I think this can easily be a $2,000-3,000 stock by the end of the decade. I think the things that are going to push Apple moving forward into the future are going to be things like the Apple Car. I haven't talked about that as much, but for those of you guys who've been paying attention to the podcast in the past, you guys know that I think the Apple Car, whatever they ended up calling it, the iCar, sounds like iCarly, but the Apple Car, I think, is going to be one of the best-selling products in the history of the world, because everyone that owns an iPhone is going to want an Apple Car. And you guys know how it is. The moment the first motherfucker gets an iCar or whatever and posts it on fucking Instagram or Facebook or TikTok, the moment that first fucking baboso gets one, what's everyone else going to want to do? Ooh, look at me, like some bitch-ass motherfuckers, man. I'm telling you, it's just a mindset. It's a fucking look at me and click the like button fucking genre, era, culture we find ourselves in. So anyways, I think they'll continue to make a lot of money on that. But in the meantime, in between time, I think things like the AirPods and things like the Apple Watch are going to continue to make a lot of money. Because you guys got to remember, before I move on, I think they released this data. The AirPods that everyone seems to love these days and everyone wears them now, like no one even takes the AirPods off, they just leave them in their ears. But did you guys know I think Apple says it takes about 50 cents to 99 cents to make a pair of Apple AirPods. I think it costs about 50 cents to make, and they sell it here in the States for $150. Think about that. It takes Apple 50 cents to make the AirPods in China for some little, Chinese kid, un fucking chinito, little Chinese kid to make. It takes about 50 cents to make a pair of AirPods, and they sell it here for $150. Same thing with the watch, the Apple Watch. The Apple Watch, I think the Apple Watch is like $5 to make, and they sell it here for like almost $300. Like, this is the type of business model that they have. You make an iPhone in China for like, $10, $15, $5. You sell it here for like $3,000, and no one cares. No one flinches because they just want the monthly payment to be cheap. Then all of a sudden you do things like bundle it and say, oh, well, if you get the new iPhone, we'll give you the fucking watch for free. But then the moment the watch breaks or, doesn't work anymore, you got to go back to the store and get a fucking new one. Oh, surprise, surprise, right? And then you buy another fucking watch that again only cost them $5 to make, but you bought it for another $300. And then, oh no, I lost my fucking AirPods. I don't know where they are. Ay Dios mío, what am I gonna do? How am I gonna listen to music? How am I gonna be able to ignore people? Oh my gosh, I need new AirPods. And then you go back to the store and you buy AirPods that cost them 50 cents to make, and you paid $150, $175 for it. Plus tax, bitch. Like, this is the business model they fucking run. So, in the long run, am I worried about Apple? Fuck no. I think, again, outside of them doing more stock splits, I think Apple stock can easy money get to about $2,000, $3,000 stock by the end of the decade. Especially when the car comes out. I think they said that a car is going to come out. I think they pushed it back a year. And instead of 2025, they're talking about 2026. But it doesn't matter. 2026, 2027, 2028, it doesn't matter. Once the car comes out in the back half of this decade, it's game over. Everyone's going to want one. Everyone's going to need one. Everyone's going to buy one. Why? Because the moment that first pinche baboso gets one and posts it on the gram, what's every bitch-ass motherfucker going to do? Ooh, 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 look at me, look at me. You know, I'm telling you. Y'all act like I'm lying. Am I lying, America? I don't think so. So, that's my thoughts right there on Apple. Again, if you guys love it, you guys want it, you guys need it, a long-term portfolio, absolutely do it. Pull the trigger, start, stacking your cash position, put the limit order for $100. Is it going to go to $100 next week? Probably not. Is it going to go to $100 next month? Probably not. But I'm saying sometime this year, because I'm bearish on the economy, I think we're going into a recession. I think the average American is already in a recession, because when I look at your savings account, empty. When I look at your portfolio, empty. When I look at your Roth IRA, doesn't exist. I look at your 401k, you don't got one. I look at your credit card debt, through the motherfucking ceiling. I think the average American has been in a motherfucking recession. So, but I think the overall macro economy, I think you're still going to see one this year, back half of 2023. And if and when that happens, I think you're going to continue to see stocks go lower. And when stocks go lower, I think you're going to get a chance to buy Apple around that $99.99 would probably be the absolute low. But I would start loading in around $110, $115. And then again, if you like it and you continue to love it and believe in it, I think it's a $2,000, $3,000 stock by the end of this decade. That's just my opinion. Now again, I won't be in it, because I think I'll be all up in that ass on Bitcoin and crypto, because I think that's what's going to make the most amount of money between 2020 to 2030. And then after 2030, it's probably going to be something like rocket ships or flying cars or quantum computing. You're already seeing a lot of hype right now. Not hype, but you're seeing a lot of momentum in things like AI, artificial intelligence, machine learning, robotics. I don't know how many times I've talked about Elon Musk and his fucking robots. I mean, at this point, he should just build all the robots he can and take over the world. Cause, I mean, honestly, if he doesn't do it, somebody else is going to try to do it. I mean, let's just call it what it is. If it's not Elon, it'll be someone else. So, I think that's what it is. So anyways, though, that's just how I'm investing, and that's just how I'm looking at things. But other than that, Apple really didn't have to say much on the earnings report. They believe that the U.S. consumer is continuing to slow down. But they're not sure how long that's going to last. But the CEO of Apple, Tim Cook, he does believe that the U.S. is going to continue to slow down. And they already told investors that they're preparing to make less money in the first half of this year, and they're still uncertain about the second half of this year. So they didn't provide any guidance really for full year guidance, because they said it really just depends on what happens with interest rates and what happens with the Federal Reserve, what they end up doing, and what ends up happening with inflation. So they didn't really have great full year guidance, but they did expect that revenues are going to continue to decline in the first half of 2023, and then we'll see what happens in the second half of this year. So with that being said, the company themselves already believes that they're going to continue to see a revenue decline. So we'll see what happens, I know everyone wants to believe rainbows and unicorns and everything's fine and the economy's strong and the consumer's doing well. All I see is motherfuckers working minimum wage trying to figure out a way to pay all their bills. But I guess there's two sides to every coin. So that's kind of my thoughts right there on Apple. Next one, Amazon. Amazon came out and reported earnings. And I gotta be honest, I think Amazon had the most disgusting earnings report of this entire earnings season. I think Amazon was absolutely disgusting. That shit was garbage, trash, basura. It was a shit show. Amazon comes out on the earnings call, and the first thing I thought of, I miss Jeff Bezos. I wish Jeff Bezos was still the CEO of Amazon. But he's not. He's somewhere in the private islands, probably somewhere in Cancun, fucking some Mexican bitches somewhere on that big ass private yacht. I don't know if you guys seen it. His private yacht is like the size of a fucking city. All he does is fuck bitches and eat steak all day. This motherfucker. So I understand he doesn't want to come back to work. Nobody would. But Amazon, since he's left, has been a shit show. This company continues to decline. I'm looking here at my notes right now. For, just some notes on earnings. All the analysts are basically not surprised. They're laying off more people. Growth is clearly decelerating. Too expensive valuation in this, interest rate environment. They're not making as much money as they used to. To me, this was kind of the obvious one because Amazon benefited more than any other company in the world from stimulus checks. In an era of stimulus checks where everyone's getting stimmy after stimmy after stimmy after motherfucking stimmy and everyone's getting boosted unemployment and child tax credit money and this and that, when everyone's doing that shit and they're, and everything's locked down, what are people going to do? They're going to go on Amazon.com, go on the little stupid ass app, and they're going to buy everything they fucking see that's on sale. And so it's not surprising that, in that environment, Amazon stock was absolutely exploding. It was ripping to the upside. And, it almost became a meme stock because everyone knew Amazon was going to make a lot of money during the pandemic. But now that those stimmies are gone and they're dead and gone and there's no more child tax credit and there's no more boosted unemployment and there's no more fucking state sponsored checks, all that money is gone. And now all these tech jobs are laying off people and the only people who are hiring are McDonald's, Subway, and Burger King. Guess what? People don't have as much disposable income as they had or they once had. So now when people don't have as much disposable income as they once had, they're starting to tighten down the belt. They're starting to tighten down the hatchet like Jeff Bezos told them to do. And by the way, that still scares me that the second richest man on the planet, Jeff Bezos, right? Former CEO of Amazon, still the largest stakeholder in Amazon. He owns more Amazon stock than anyone else on the planet. So just because he's not running the company doesn't mean he still doesn't own the company, right? Talk about passive income. You know what I mean? Like the biggest shareholder, but you don't work anymore. But when you really think about it, step back and think about it. The second richest man on the planet basically told everyone that the economy's headed for a recession and people need to start tightening down the hatchet or battening down the hatchet. And he said that 2 weeks after the CEO of JP Morgan, right? Jamie Dimon, the CEO of JP Morgan Chase, gringos with all the dinero. The CEO of Chase came out and said that the U.S. economy is headed for an economic hurricane, and that economic hurricane is about to touch landfall on the U.S. economy soon. 2 weeks after that, Jeff Bezos says, yup, sure the fuck is. Better start batting down the hatchet because motherfuckers are about to get destroyed. And I looked at that and I heard that and I said, damn, Jeff Bezos, he only makes money if everyone continues to spend money on stupid shit. And he's the one that says you need to stop spending money on stupid shit. If people do that, how's he gonna afford to fuck bad bitches left and right on his fucking, on his bitch ass yacht in the middle of fucking Mexico? All them, somewhere out there in Latin America, all these Colombian hoes these days. Like, how's he gonna afford to keep doing that if people aren't buying stupid shit on Amazon? And yet he's the one that said motherfuckers better get ready. That shit's crazy. By the way, I have the thing here from JP Morgan. This is the economic hurricane he had to say. Again, this is the CEO of one of the largest banks in America. Fuck it. This is the CEO of one of the largest banks in the world. In the fucking world. And this is what he had to say.
It's a hurricane. Right now it's kind of sunny. Things are doing fine. Everyone thinks the Fed can handle this. That hurricane is right out there down the road coming our way. We just don't know if it's a minor one or Superstorm Sandy Sandy or Andrew or something like that. And you better brace yourself.
Don't worry. Bitches will still buy stupid shit. Why? Because you do it for the fucking gram. Because you think it's going to get you more pussy in life and you think it's going to make you look more successful. But at the end of the day, these motherfuckers are still a bitch-ass loser. Anyways, no investment, no portfolio, no 401k, and that's why they'll live paycheck to paycheck till the day they die. And that's fine. I need someone to pick up my trash. Alright, so next one. Google. Google was very interesting. Oh, by the way, price targets on Amazon before I move on, before I forget. Amazon, I would not touch this with a fucking 10-foot pole, with a 30-foot pole, with a 100-foot pole. I would not touch this. I was invested in Amazon for a long time as well. This is one I was buying when I first started, getting out the Marine Corps. I'm gonna tell you, I'm probably never gonna buy Amazon stock ever again. There's too many stocks that are around the same price that I just like more than this, but more importantly, fundamentally, I just don't believe in this company anymore. Does that mean the company's gonna go out of business? No. Does that mean the company's gonna go bankrupt? Fuck no. Does that mean this is a bad company to own? Hell no. What I'm saying is, I don't want to own the stock because I think I'm gonna make a fuck ton more money owning other stocks. And again, same thing with Apple, right? Apple, I think, is going to be a $2,000-$3,000 stock by the end of the decade, especially when the fucking car comes out. And by the way, we haven't even talked about the VR glasses. Remember that? The virtual reality glasses that Apple's coming out with? I think those can be a game changer because everyone wants to know, like, oh, what's going on with the metaverse? What's happening with the metaverse? I'm going to talk about that next when it comes to Facebook. But everyone's asking, like, what's going on with the metaverse? What's going on with the metaverse? How are we going to get in the metaverse? Is there a secret portal? I'm like, secret portal, bro? Like, what the fuck? The way people go in the metaverse today is on the VR headsets, right? Facebook has one. And then I think Google has one. I forget the name of it. It's called like Oculus or something. And then, so Facebook and Google both have like their own VR headsets, which are really, really good, by the way. But right now, the way people get into the metaverse is using the headsets. I think in the future, Apple can do it where you can go into the metaverse using their VR glasses. And then all you have to do is just put on the glasses and then you put on your AirPods. And then the AirPods and the glasses will connect with each other to log you into the metaverse. So I think you can see a situation like that where Apple says the way we're going to get people into the metaverse is just by selling them the VR glasses. And all you have to do is just put in your AirPods, which again are basically the best headset devices in the world. And there you go. So you don't need like a big ass, clunky ass, jumbo ass headset anymore like Facebook and Google have. You can just put on a pair of glasses. I think that would be legit. I think that would be a badass way of logging into the metaverse. Cause then you can just log in, log out, log in, log out. Versus always having to wear like a big ass fucking Iron Man suit and shit. So anyways though, so I believe in Apple in the long term, $2,000-$3,000 stock by the end of the decade. But my problem is the stock is about 150, 120, maybe it gets to 110 or 99.99. But again, I'm looking for the next Apple. And I see a lot of stocks right now for my VIP subscribers. You guys know what it is. There's a lot of stocks right now on the VIP podcast that we talk about that we have our fucking fingers on the triggers on, and we're looking through that shit using a sniper scope right now. Again, VIP subscribers only, but you guys know what it is. There's a lot of stocks that are like 50 cents, $1, $2, $3, and I think those stocks over the next 10 years can go to $100, $200, $300 one day. Because again, you guys look at Apple, you guys look at Amazon, and you're like, oh my gosh, these stocks are like $100, $150 or whatever. But if you look at the max chart for Apple and Amazon, you know, back in like 2005, 2003, the stock was like $2, $3. You go back to like 1999, the stock was like 30 cents. You know? And so I know that seems like a long time. Oh, that was 20 years ago, 30 years ago, 10 years ago. But honestly, if you're going to invest for the rest of your life, then that's really not that big of a deal. You know what I mean? Like, I'm not here to invest just for the next 10 days. I'm here to invest for the rest of my life because I never want to stop making money. And I always want to make my money work for me. And I always want to get interest on the interest on the interest on the motherfucking interest. I'm here to get paid for the rest of my life to the day I fucking die. And then when I do die, I want my kids and my grandkids and my great-grandkids and my great-great-grandkids to get paid for the rest of their motherfucking life. Interest on the interest on the interest on the motherfucking interest. You know? I'm not just here for personal wealth. I'm here for generational wealth. No, I don't want anyone else after me to ever have to work on their hands and knees ever fucking again. Ever. So this isn't just a 5-10 year investment. I'm going to be investing overall for the rest of my life. So with that being said, you look at Amazon stock. I'm looking at the chart right now. Back in 2005, Amazon stock was $2. And I know they did a stock split, but it doesn't matter. The point is, it was way fucking cheaper. You know, in the last 15 years, Amazon stock has basically done like a 20x in the last 15 years. You know what I mean? So, Amazon's probably going to continue to go up. Apple's going to continue to go up. I just think there's other investments now that are going to be the next Apple, that are going to be the next Amazon, that are going to be the next thing. And I think there's a lot of investments out there that people just don't know about because they don't do their research. They don't know how to do research. They don't know how to do they don't know how to study this shit. They don't know where to look for this shit. And that's why they become VIP subscribers. But for VIPs, you guys know what stocks I'm talking about. There's a lot of stocks out there that we keep an eye on. They're literally 50 cents, $1, $2, and $3. And I think they're going to be $200, $300 by the end of this decade. I think they're absolutely going to be insane growth there. So that's why I'm not going to buy Amazon either. But where do I think Amazon goes in the long run? I think in the long run, I think Apple's better, honestly. I'd rather be an Apple than Amazon. But I think Amazon stock can still be probably 4, 5, 600 by the end of the decade. It could still give you a 4, 5, 6x by the end of the decade, maybe more. I think Apple's going to outperform it. If we use today as a starting point, I think Apple's going to outperform Amazon. But it doesn't mean Amazon's going to go out of business. Doesn't mean it's going to go bankrupt. Doesn't mean it's a bad business. It just means they have more expenses. Again, Apple's business model is just better. Make it in China for $5, sell it here for $1,500. Make a watch out there for $5, sell it here for $180. Make a pair of iPods in China for 50 cents, sell it here for $150. You see my point? Like, the business model is just unbeatable. It's insane. Versus Amazon, they have to pay all the drivers, they have to pay for gas. Now they want to make all their trucks EV. They gotta pay for warehouses, they gotta pay for storage facility, they gotta do logistics. Now all the Amazon workers want to fucking unionize, and they're over there like, union? What union? Fuck your union and your pinche union. Because now all the workers want healthcare benefits, and they want full-time benefits, and Amazon's like, damn, we're about to start building robots too, man. Yo, Elon, how can we get some robots? Because fuck these people. We don't want them to unionize. We don't want them to get paid. We want them to shut the fuck up and work for cheap fucking labor every day. So, yeah, I like Apple more than Amazon. But that's my thing on Amazon. It's going to be a great company, going to be a great stock, still a 5, 6x by the end of the decade, but I like Apple more. But what I would say about the earnings call last thing, real quick, Amazon also expects that the economy is going to continue to slow down. And they basically said, we have no idea when things are going to pick back up again. All we know is that expenses are going to continue to rise because we continue to move towards the EV industry, and we're going to swap out all our vehicles for EVs. We don't think revenue is going to fall off a cliff because rich people like Kylie Jenner and Kim Kardashian and Rob Kardashian and all these bitch-ass Kardashians, all the rich people in LA, all the rich people in New York, all the rich people in Miami, all the rich people in Texas, all the rich people in San Francisco, all the rich people in San Diego, all the rich people in Hawaii, all these rich people in America, they're not going to stop using Amazon because these people are never going to go back to Walmart again. They refuse to go to Walmart. They're not going to Walmart. They're going to continue to use Amazon for the rest of their lives. The problem is all those broke people, as Andrew Tate likes to call them, the brokies that used to buy shit on Amazon that they didn't really need, but they said fuck it because they had fucking stimmy. Those are the ones that are probably not going to come back to Amazon anytime soon because those are the ones that are going to have to continue to go to Walmart for months and months and years to come as this economy continues to go lower. So basically, rich people aren't going away, but the middle class and lower middle class are definitely migrating back to Walmart now and having to buy things in person and not get it shipped to their house. So they expect revenue to keep declining in that sense. Yeah, not a business I want to be invested in, but that's just some context and some perspective for you guys. Next one, pick up steam here. Google reported earnings. I know a lot of you guys also like Google. Again, this is another $100 stock. My problem isn't with the company. It's the stock is $100, and for the fucking 4th, 5th time today, I'll say it again because it's fucking important. I think there are too many great companies whose stock price is 40, 50 cents, $1, $2, $3 that I believe can easily be $200, $300 by the end of this decade. And the worst thing that can happen is some of these stocks that are $2, they only go to 40, they only go to 50, they only go to 60, they only go to 75. Even in that scenario, that's still a 20, 30x from where the stock is today. And all I gotta wait is 6, 7 years, and I get a 30x on all my money every share I buy. I mean, that's fucking insane. Fuck a mutual fund. So I just, but these stocks that are 100, The only way that they 10x, 20x, 30x, and 40x is if the stock goes to 2,000, 3,000, 4,000. And I think for Google and Amazon and Apple to get that high, it's going to be a lot harder than it would be for some of these smaller companies that are just getting started to go up 20x, 30x, 40x. Because these smaller companies, they're starting at a smaller starting line versus these big companies. They're already $1 trillion company, so it's hard for them to get any bigger. Laws of numbers. But for some of these smaller companies, it's easy for them to explode, as long as they execute on time, which again is why we have to look at management teams. But there's a lot of companies out here, guys, that are literally $2, $3. I think could be in the 200-300s by the end of this decade. But, nobody wants to fucking do the research. So it is what it is. VIP stand up. But Google, not a great earnings call. Basically said ad revenue is continuing to decline. I thought that was interesting. Basically, Google said, some parts of the business are still strong, but they're not really getting a lot of money from advertisements anymore, which basically means nobody is really posting ads on YouTube anymore, because that's basically their main ad platform is basically YouTube. And I thought that was very interesting because there's a lot of companies. The companies that are struggling the most right now are the ones that should probably have to do the most marketing, but they're not. And I think the reason you're seeing companies not doing as much marketing right now is because they believe that it doesn't matter how many ads they post on YouTube, no one's going to buy their stupid shit in this environment. So I'll use a real estate one right now because that's kind of the one I was thinking about. I look at someone like KB Homes, or I look at someone like Toll Brothers, or like even companies like Zillow or Opendoor or OfferPad or all those bitch ass websites, 1-800-letmebuyyourhouse.com. You know what I mean? Like all these like house flipping fucking websites and shit like that. They're not really posting ads on YouTube anymore compared to the, where they were in 2020, 2021. Why not? Well, because no one really wants to sell their home below market value in this environment, even though the real estate agent's trying to fucking tell them that they're not going to get as much as they once could have back in 2020, 21. But on the other side, there's not that many people that qualify for a big enough home loan to buy a house in their local real estate market. So these real estate companies kind of feel like, what's the point of putting all these ads on YouTube about buying a home or purchasing real estate or buying property or flipping a home or letmebuyyourhome.com? What's the point of posting all these ads if the buyers don't qualify for a big enough home loan anymore? So they're going to stay living with their mom and dad a little bit longer, and the sellers refuse to sell because they're not going to give up 10 years worth of equity. They're not going to let somebody lowball them. So that's why I called it the frozen real estate market, because you got buyers that keep trying to lowball people, but on the other hand, they don't really qualify for that much of a home loan compared to what they used to qualify for. So they kind of have to lowball people in some cases. But the buyers, they basically, they're all lowballing for the most part. Not all of them, but most of them. Because again, they either don't qualify for as much as they used to, or they do got the money, but they want to be an asshole about it, right? And then you got the fucking sellers over here that just refuse. They want above market value, like their friend Sarah got back in 21. She got 30% above appraisal. So like all these bitches are still in this 2021 mentality. So you got a lot of people out here that are either lowballing to be an asshole, lowballing because they don't have a choice, or you got sellers that are just unwilling to budge because they worked hard to build up that equity and they don't want to just give it away for free, especially if they don't have to. So when you have all these real estate companies out here, and by the way, real quick, KB Homes, they reported earnings 2-3 weeks ago. You want to know what KB Homes had to say? They said basically cancellations are through the roof. They're going to weather the storm because KB Homes doesn't really have to lay anybody off because most of their employees are contractors. So it's funny, KB Homes can basically let everyone go and not really fire anyone because they don't have to. No one's an employee. All these people that build their homes, all these people that do all this work for them, most of them are contractors. They're not paid employees. So they're technically not laying anybody off, but they're laying everybody off. You guys see my point? But KB Homes and Toll Brothers are basically saying that, we have enough money to weather the storm, and if nobody is buying a new home, that's fine. We'll wait for things to pick back up again. We think things will pick back up again either second half of this year, maybe early next year, but it's all basically just a waiting game. We have a shit ton of cash on the balance sheet, and at the end of the day, people still need to buy homes. If the Fed doesn't let people buy homes this year because they leave mortgage rates at high level, that's cool. But eventually they're going to still have to buy a home. So you're not destroying demand, you're just delaying demand. Because that kid who lives at home at his mama's house, he can't live there forever. You're not going to live with your mom until you're 70. One day, eventually, you have to move the fuck out and get your home, right? So they're basically saying all these millennials that live at home, or they live at their tia's house, or their tia's house, or their tio's house, or their abuelo's house, all these people that are living with family, or like fucking, 9 bitch-ass roommates like in San Francisco, you're not going to live with 9 roommates forever. Eventually you're going to settle down. Eventually you're going to get married. Eventually you're going to have your bitch-ass kids. Whatever the fuck you guys do with your life. But you're not going to live with 9 roommates forever. You're not going to live at your mama's house forever. And you're not going to live at your tia's fucking garage forever. Eventually you got to move the fuck out. And eventually you got to buy a fucking home. So KB Homes, Toll Booth Brothers, all these people, they're basically saying, yeah, if the Fed doesn't let you buy a home this year or next year, that's fine. But eventually you're going to buy a home. And eventually you're going to come back home to daddy because you're going to need us to build the home for you. And then we're going to contract all these Mexicans to do the work for us. And we're going to pay them pennies on the dollar. Because that's how the business model goes. Apple makes an iPhone in China for $5, sells it here to $5,000 because no one cares. They just want the monthly payment to be cheap. KB Homes basically sells you a $400,000, $500,000, $600,000 homes, but pays all the Mexicans that actually built it pennies on the dollar. Same business model, different industry. Same shit every fucking day. So KB Homes and Toll Brothers, their stocks were dumping earlier last year because everyone said that, no one's going to buy a home, sales are coming down, units sold are coming down, the recession, depression, everyone's bearish on real estate. And then they come out on the earnings call and they're like, nah, bro, we alright. We sitting good. We sitting pretty. Like a bitch with some nalgas. We sitting good right now, bro. Because even if they don't buy a home this year, even if they don't buy a home next year, you cannot live at your mama's house forever. Eventually, you will need to move the fuck out. And when you do, we will be your fucking daddy. Because you need someone to build it because there's not enough homes in America. We have a housing shortage in this country. Every real estate in America can attest to this. We legitimately have a housing shortage in this country. There's too many people, not enough homes. Too many people, not enough homes. And then you have all these people coming in from the border, whether you like it or not. Shout out to all the coyotes that listen to me in San Diego. Shout out to all the coyotes that listen to me in Texas. Shout out to all the coyotes that listen to me in Arizona. You guys know I love you guys, support you guys. A lot of people don't like what you do, but fuck it. You guys got a family to support too. So I understand what you guys do for a living. But, when you talk to any of these coyotes, they'll tell you, like, yo, people are coming through the border. Yo, the Texas border is open. Yo, they're going to make their way to, Nueva York. They're going to make it there. So when those people come into this country, guess what? They need a place to live. They can't be in a hotel room forever. So these companies like KB Homes and Toll Brothers, they're going to continue to make money. And even if you push back revenue this year to next year, guess what? They're still going to get fucking paid. So that's why there's a lot of institutional investors looking at KB Homes and Toll Brothers, and they're like, dude, like, this housing shortage is real, and you guys not letting anyone buy a home right now because you're raising mortgage rates, that's just going to make demand next year even more insane. Again, you're not destroying demand, you're just postponing it. But eventually, this has to come to fruition. You have to build more fucking homes in this country. So, again, I think the only ones who are really struggling right now, if I'm being honest, it's not the home building corporations like KB Homes and Toll Booth Brothers. Like, I don't really think they're not gonna crash. They're not gonna go bankrupt, right? But you want to know who is gonna crash and who is gonna go bankrupt? It's probably gonna be the real estate agents. And I've said this time and time again, and I know all the real estate agents, they get all butthurt like a little fucking pendeja when I say this. But if the demand for real estate continues to plummet and dump for the rest of 2023, just like it did second half of 2022, if it just continues to be dog shit for the rest of the year, there's going to be a lot of real estate agents that leave real estate. They go get a job at Walmart. They go get a job at Kentucky Fried Chicken. They go get a job at fucking Chipotle. They're going to get a job somewhere else. Because if the unit sold continues to come down and the frozen real estate market continues to become more frozen and it's just not enough demand or not enough activity for you guys to make enough commission to feed your family and pay your bills, then you're going to see a lot of real estate agents leave, go work somewhere else, and then eventually when mortgage rates come down again, maybe not sub 3%, but they just come down again in general and the economy picks back up, whether it's 2024, 2025, 2026, then they can come back in real estate and brag about being a real estate agent again, because that's what they seem to love to do. But I expect a lot more real estate agents to leave the industry this year. Now, is everyone going to stop being a real estate agent? No. I think the best real estate agents in the countries, the ones that are making 5, 6, 7 figures, they're going to continue to make money. They're going to continue to get paid. They're going to continue to take up market share because they're the best real estate agents in their city. But not the problem with real estate is everyone thinks they're a good real estate agent. And then the moment they stop making money, they want to blame the market instead of blame themselves. It's like, nah, bro, I get it. Real estate's not moving like it used to. It's not as hot. The market's not as hot as it used to. But just because you're not making money as a real estate agent doesn't mean someone else in your market isn't. Right? So that's the problem with real estate. Every agent thinks they're fucking top 10, top 5. And it's like, bro, you're not even in the top 100. Get the fuck out of here with that. But nobody really knows until you're in an environment like this. Because in environments like this, I talk to some agents that barely are selling. They're probably only going to sell like 4 or 5 houses this year. But then I know other real estate agents that are going to sell 40, 50 houses this year. And some of them are in the same city. So what's the difference? Again, everyone thinks they're top 10, top 5 until that pressure comes, until that heat comes. Then they realize they're really not built for this. They're built for a good economy, not a weak economy. So they're not built for this war zone. So anyways, I think the real crash, I think the real recession is happening with real estate agents and in the real estate industry, brokers, refinance guys. Like, I think that's where a lot of the damage is being done. Especially since a lot of them are not employees. They're basically contractors. So I continue to see a lot of damage, a lot of pain, a lot of destruction inside the real estate industry. Again, the corporations are going to be fine, but you guys will not. So, I think that's what you're going to see. You're going to see more agents leave the industry, go get a job, that's a secure paycheck, steady income somewhere else. And then in the future, whether it's a year from now, 2 years from now, 3 years from now, the economy's stronger, the economy's going up again, the economy's getting better, stocks are pumping, Bitcoin's running, Ethereum sprinting, Cardano's exploding, all the cryptos are going to the moon again. When we go back to that kind of environment, here comes all the bitch-ass real estate agents. They're going to come out with that shit. I never left, dog. I never left. I'm like, whatever, bro. I saw your ass at McDonald's. Shut the fuck up. So, anyways, though, that's why I see that pain. So the point is, going back to Google, there's some companies that are continuing to advertise, but a lot of companies just aren't, or they're not doing it as much because, again, it doesn't matter how much I promote Zillow.com. If you don't have money for a down payment on your home, if your credit score's fucked up, if your debt to income is trash, garbage, if you don't have the money to buy a home, then it doesn't matter how many commercials I put on Zillow. You're not going to buy a home. It's not because you don't want to. It's because you can't afford to. So there's a lot of companies in this environment that they need the economy to be strong in order for their business model to be strong. They need the economy to be good for their finances to be good. So because a lot of businesses are starting to realize like this Fed is not fucking around, they're not playing around, they're going to continue to raise interest rates and they're going to leave rates higher for longer. Like, my target consumer is probably going to continue to suffer. So I can post all the ads I want, but that's not going to make anyone come through the door. If they don't have money, they don't have money. So that's why I say, like, I think a lot of these businesses are still in for a world of pain. And then you have other companies like Tesla, like Rolls-Royce, like a lot of these high-end fucking companies. They don't do commercials. Tesla doesn't have commercials. The car sells itself. Rolls-Royce doesn't have a commercial. You either have 500 grand or you don't. Lamborghini doesn't have a commercial. You're either a millionaire or you're not. Like, Lamborghini doesn't have to have a commercial. Everyone knows who it is. When you become a millionaire for the first time, what's one of the first things every millionaire does? Oh, get a Lamborghini. Gotta get the Lambo. Gotta make it fucking official. So there's certain companies like Lamborghini, Rolls-Royce, Tesla. They don't have commercials. The car sells itself. You either have the money for one or you don't. So, the big companies that are still making money, they don't do advertisements. So it's only like the small, medium-sized companies that have to do ads so people can buy their products or services. But if their customers don't have any money, then it doesn't matter how many ads they do. Their customer has no fucking money. So that's why Google is saying there's a slowdown in ad revenue. I think that's going to continue to happen. Google's earnings report was not great. It was good, but not great. Again, Google's not going anywhere. YouTube's not going away. Gmail's not going away. Like, this stuff isn't going away. But the problem is it's not going to go to an all-time high either. So real quick on Google, before I move on that stock, we have Google here. Let's see. Ticker symbol is GOOGL. Let's look at the chart real quick. 1 year chart. The 52-week high for Google was 150. The 52-week low was around 80. So it basically went down like 50% almost. And where are we now? Basically about 105-ish, 100. So yeah, we're kind of on the lower end. Apple's pretty much dead set in the middle. Amazon's kind of on the lower end of the 52-week range, and Apple's on the lower end of the 52-week range, or excuse me, Google. So again, the high was 150, the low was basically 80, so that's a $70 drop in price. Right now it's basically at 100, so yeah, it's kind of on the lower end of the spectrum. I think Google will be fine long term because they're coming out with self-driving technology. So basically all that technology to make self-driving cars, the software for self-driving cars, they're the ones building it. And again, YouTube's not going away. They're investing in the cloud and cloud services. I think this is another stock. It's probably going to be, I don't think it's as good as Apple, but I think it's better than Amazon. Let me say that again. I don't think it's as good as Apple, but I like it more than Amazon. So I think Apple could be 2,000 or 3,000 by the end of the decade. I think Amazon could be 500-600. I'm going to put Google stock at about 1,000. I think it could be 1,000 at the end of the decade. So not as much as Apple, but more than Amazon. So that's kind of where I have Google. I'd probably put the over-under around 1,000, maybe 1,200 by the end of this decade. And again, we'll see how things go because they're investing in AI, in artificial intelligence. Technology is the future. We all realize it. We all know it. But that's kind of where I would put Google on the long-term trajectory. It's probably at least a 10x, maybe 15x. So I still believe in it. But again, it's not that 10x or 15x is bad. That's like 10 times more than any mutual fund in America is going to get you. It's just the fact that me and my VIPs, again, we're looking at some stocks that no one really knows about, no one really talks about, but they're growing faster than any other companies in the world right now. And their stocks are only like $2, $3, $4. And I think they can be $200-$300. Shit, no mames, about to load the fuck up on that shit. But again, I want to get the absolute best price. So I'm timing everything. And in the short term, I'm shorting everything. VIP stand up. So, and then, you know what? Let me just talk about the VIP package real quick before I move on, because I know some of you guys are going to blow me up about it. I told you guys I'm going to open up the VIP package either before the Super Bowl or after the Super Bowl. Today is February 5th or 6th. I'm going to open up the VIP package probably after the Super Bowl. I'm not going to do it before just because I'm doing so much work right now. So I'm probably going to open up the VIP package after the Super Bowl weekend. I want to get paid on that shit as well. And then after that, I'll probably open up the VIP package depending where the stock market's at. And then, you know, I'll allow people to sign up to the VIP package after that. I'll let you guys know later in terms of what the window is and how much it's going to cost to be a VIP subscriber. But the VIP package is probably going to only be open for like a month, maybe 2. And then after that, I'm closing the whole thing down again. Cause, this summer I'm going to be on vacation going out with my family, and I don't want to have to worry about people, you know, getting mad at me cause they're trying to sign up for the VIP package and they didn't get the clip or this or that. So I don't want to deal with that shit. I just want to enjoy my vacation. I want to enjoy my summer. I'm going to travel to different places. I'm going to go to, you know, a couple different resorts. I'm going to go to the beach. I'm going to go to the hotels. I'm going to go here. I'm going to go there. I'm trying to enjoy my best life with my family this summer. I take every summer off, as you guys know by now. And so this summer will be no different. I'm going to go out. I'm going to travel. I'm going to go places. I'm going to do different things. I'm going to enjoy my time with my family now that my kids won't be in school in the summer. So I won't have time to like worry or focus about VIP packages or this or that. I'll make a few VIP clips for my VIP subscribers in the summer, and I'll probably do a couple of live streams, secret live streams only for the VIP package on the summer. But other than that, I'm not going to be accepting new VIP subscribers until probably August or September. So again, I'll open up the VIP package soon, but it's only going to be open for like a month or 2. After that, I'm locking the entire bitch back down, and you're either VIP or you're not for summer 2023. So we'll go from there. We'll figure it out. All right, next one. I want to talk about cars real quick, and then I'll probably finish the clip off on this. I listened to the CEO of Ford. Ford came out, and the CEO of Ford came out. Actually, you know what? Let me talk about Facebook real quick. Hold on. Let me go to Facebook real quick. their name of the company is now Meta or / fucking Meta Platforms, whatever. They came out on earnings. A lot of people have been asking me about that. They bought like $40 billion worth of stock. Facebook stock / Meta is about 180, 190 right now. The 52-week high was 250. The low was around 100. So it's definitely, this one's on the higher range. Again, all-time high, recent 52-week high was 250, 240. The low was around like $89. Right now it's $190. So I mean, damn, definitely on the higher end of things, higher range of things. Good, it's a okay company. Again, you know, future of the metaverse, blah, blah, blah. Everything's meta, everything's metaverse. I still like Apple more. I still like Apple a lot more. So nothing against the company. I just like Apple more. And if we're going to play the metaverse, I'd rather be invested in microchips or I'd rather be invested in the data centers. The way I invest in microchips would be NVIDIA or AMD, but the way I would invest in the data center would be a company called Snowflake. Ticker symbol for Snowflake is SNOW, SNOW. The stock price for Snowflake right now, ticker symbol is SNOW. That one is about 165. Facebook is around 185. I would take Snowflake over Facebook all night and day. It's not even close. I think Snowflake is growing 10 times faster than Facebook ever will. So I like Snowflake just like a million times more than Facebook right here. Even after this recent, jump because of the $40 billion stock buyback. So that's the way I would play the metaverse. Just from a stock market perspective. There are cryptos you can invest in for the metaverse. I'll probably talk about those this summer again. But for this clip right now, just in terms of metaverse stocks, I like NVIDIA and AMD more than Facebook, but I also love Snowflake a fuck ton more than Facebook. Now, where do I think Facebook can go by the end of the decade? It honestly, it just depends on the metaverse. So I'm going to leave that. My prediction on Facebook in the long term is unknown because I just don't know what the metaverse is going to look like in the year 2028, 2029, 2030, 2031. I don't think anyone really knows. Like, we have ideas, we have beliefs, we have opinions, but no one knows for certain what the fucking metaverse will look like in 28, 2029, and 2030. It's probably going to be dope as shit. It's probably going to be insane. It's probably going to be fucking chaos. But I don't know what exactly it looks like, and I don't know how high Facebook stock will go because of it. So I'm going to leave it as unknown. I honestly don't know where Facebook stock, because there is a case where maybe the metaverse becomes real, but Facebook ends up not being the leader and someone else ends up beating them to it. Like, no one really knows, right? So I don't know. They could be the kings of the metaverse, and they could be the greatest. They could be the biggest metaverse company in the history of the world. They could be the greatest metaverse company in existence. No one really knows. So I'm going to leave it as unknown. I honestly don't have any way of predicting what Facebook stock will be in 10 years, in 2030. No idea. Short term though, still don't like it. Ad revenues continue to decline. User engagement is up. That's because people are bored at home and they can't go out on the weekends as much, so they spend more time on Facebook and Instagram. Especially again, you bitch ass millennials that just don't want to do anything, just be on Instagram all day. So I don't know. Short term, I have no direction for the stock. Could it go back to 240? Maybe. Could it come back to 80 or 90? Maybe, maybe not. So, but for me, it's kind of a no play. So unknown for the long-term price prediction, and then no play on the short term, because I honestly don't know. But again, if you're going to go long and you say, well, fuck it, I want to be in it for the long term because I do believe in the metaverse and I do believe they're going to rule the metaverse, that's fine. But even then, I honestly take Apple for the same price. Apple's a little bit cheaper, but I would take Apple more. That's just me. But, but again, for metaverse, I'd take NVIDIA and AMD, and then 1,000 times more, I'll take Snowflake. I think Snowflake is going to be one of the fastest growing companies in the world for the years to come, because they own basically data they own data warehouse software, data center software. So anyways, there's that. All right, going back into Ford, and then this is the last two stocks I'm going to talk about here. Ford reported earnings. Earnings were down. Now, this is really important because this is going to lead me to my last 2 or 3 stock plays. So the reason Ford went down on earnings, and they reported earnings on, what day was it? February 2nd. So go back and look at Ford stock on the 1 month look at Ford stock on the 1 month, and you'll see that Ford stock absolutely cratered. You could even look at it on the 1 week chart. Ford stock was a disaster. Trash, garbage, basura! Why was it so fucking disgusting and atrocious? Very simple. Because they basically said demand for Ford is still at an all-time high. It's still insane, especially for the electric F-150 that everyone wants to talk about. The problem for Ford was, honestly, supply chain management and input costs, basically raw materials. And they basically just came out on the earnings call, and the CEO says these rare materials continue to become more and more expensive. What was he referencing? Rare earth, lithium, copper, nickel, everything that it takes to make an EV battery. And what do I always tell you? I believe, alright, and this is just my opinion, not that bitch ass motherfucker on Twitter or Facebook or Instagram or TikTok. It's the motherfucking general's opinion. Mine, nobody else's. Fuck these other bitch ass motherfuckers. My opinion. I think the future of the fucking universe is going to be electric. All electrics. I'm not just talking about cars. I'm talking about flying cars. I'm talking about rockets. I'm talking about drones. I'm talking about robots. I'm talking about everything is going to be electric in my opinion. Again, not just cars. I'm talking about semi-trucks. I'm talking about drones. I'm talking about the robots that Elon Musk is building. I'm talking about rocket ships, spaceships. I'm talking about satellites in space. I think everything, the future of humanity, the metaverse, come on now. Crypto, everything is all fucking electric. So, and I think the energy grids around the world are going to continue to be converted to electric. Is it going to be fully electric anytime soon? No. But if you talk about 10 years from now, 15 years from now, 20 years from now, 30 years from now, 100 years from now, again, it's not just personal wealth, it's generational wealth. You know, like I look at that shit on a long-term time horizon, on a long-term time scale. It just seems evident to me that everything is going to be fully electric, whether you like it or not. And so, with that being said, you know, I want to invest in the entire eco chain. I want to invest in the companies that are making the electric vehicles, Tesla. I want to be invested in the companies that are going to charge the electric vehicles, ChargePoint, EVgo. And then I want to be invested in the companies that make the batteries for the electric vehicles. So not just charge the battery, but also make the battery. And that's companies that are involved in lithium, rare earth, nickel, copper, cobalt, everything that goes into an EV battery. And then at the end of life cycle stage, I want to be invested in the companies that recycle the electric vehicle battery once the battery can no longer be recharged or just doesn't hold the charge as much as it once used to, which is a company like ABML, ticker symbol is ABML. It's a penny stock. And that's one of them, by the way. That's the one I give out for free. I still believe in ABML. It's definitely been a fucking loser lately. It's been letting me down and pissing me off. But I still believe in ABML. I'll probably make an ABML clip this summer. I'll probably send it to my VIP subscribers first, though. But ABML is a stock. It's like, what, 50, 60, 70 cents right now? I think that's a stock that can easily be 50, 60, 70, $100 one day in the future, especially if you're talking about 2030, because all they're going to do is recycle electric vehicle batteries. And where does the entire management team from ABML come from? Oh, that's right. They all come from Apple and Tesla. Let me say that again. The entire management team from ABML, where do they come from? They were former engineers at Apple and Tesla. Again, you can make all the batteries you want, but eventually batteries, it's harder and harder to recharge, and then one day you have to get rid of the battery. But in this new eco-friendly, climate-friendly, fucking global environment world we find ourselves in, these governments aren't going to let these companies throw their EV batteries in the trash. They're going to make them do what? Recycle it. Who's going to be one of the leaders in America in recycling EV batteries? ABML. The ticker symbol is ABML. Stock price is 40, 50 cents, 60 cents, 70 cents. I've been investing in it since it was like $1. Again, this is a long-term play for me, long-term investment for me, but this is a stock I can easily see it being worth 50, 60, 70, if not $100 one day. You know? So again, these are the stocks I want to be invested in. These are the companies I want to be invested in. I want to be invested in the next Apple, the next Facebook, the next Microsoft, the next Google, the next Tesla one day. You know what I mean? Like, and I want to get in on the ground floor and ride that bitch up to the penthouse suite. Again, there were people who were buying Apple stock when it was 99 cents. There were people who were buying Amazon stock when it was 50 cents. And there was people like me buying Facebook stock when it was $12. Right? And you guys always ask, oh, all these people, they're all multimillionaires and they got 20x and 30x and 40x and 50x and 100x. Oh, they got so lucky. No. They did what did what everyone else was scared to do. They grabbed their fucking cojones and they did what? They pulled the motherfucking trigger! And they didn't spend all their money on blunt toes and Modelos or spend their money every weekend on stupid shit like some of you guys keep doing because you're full of stupid shit. So, anyways though, so Ford comes out, right? Again, ticker symbol ABML, right? Now again, should you put your entire life savings on it? No. But should you put like at least a couple hundo on it? Yeah, probably. Again, you can buy it on Robinhood too. It's an OTC, it's a penny stock, but it's available on Robinhood. So again, 50, 60, 70 cents. You give it 6-7 years, and I think the stock will be $50, $60, $70, maybe even a hundo. The entire fucking management team comes from Apple and Tesla. I mean, damn, I wonder who they're going to get contracts with. Gee whiz, I wonder who. So, anyways, and by the way, what happens with all these Apple cars when they come out in 2026? What's going to happen to all their batteries? Because if you guys know anything about the iPhone, that battery doesn't last forever either. Eventually, you got to replace your iPhone because it doesn't charge as fast or it doesn't last as long. And then a lot of people always want to upgrade every fucking 2-3 years, right? Guess what? The Apple car is not going to be any different. Eventually, that battery is going to have to get replaced. And when you replace that battery with a new one, what's going to happen with the old one? Again, in this new climate environment we find ourselves in where everything has to be eco-friendly and shit, you know, carbon emission free and all this other bullshit, whether you believe it in or not. Well, guess what? You really think they're going to just throw all these batteries in a fucking dumpster? Fuck no. They're going to make them do what? Recycle, whether you like it or not. And someone's going to have to do it. ABML, the entire management team comes from Apple and Tesla. Just saying, America. Just fucking saying. You can listen to me or you can stay poor forever. I don't care. If you stay poor, though, make sure you pick up my trash. So, Ford, going back to, and by the way, I know that sounds, when I keep saying it that way, I know it sounds fucked up and ruthless, but I've never met a motherfucker who was a multimillionaire who wasn't fucking ruthless, who wasn't a fucking asshole. Right? You guys got to stop acting like all these millionaires are just so nice and friendly and they treat you with love and respect. Fuck no. Most of these millionaires, not all. I'm not gonna say they're all assholes, but most of them, they look down on us. Right? And it's not about color. It's not about black, brown, or white. Right? Rich white people will call poor white people trailer trash 7 days a week. Right? These rich people, it doesn't matter if you're poor, it doesn't matter if you're white or black or brown or orange or purple or Asian. I don't give a fuck. If you're poor, you're poor. Right? It's not about fucking color. It's about fucking, income bracket. It's about your tax bracket. It's about what you drive, where you live, what you own, what your portfolio look like, what your net worth look like. Nothing else matters to these people. So, and so again, I know it sounds ruthless when I say some shit like that, pick up my trash on Friday mornings, but you guys got to stop acting like rich people don't think the same way. Like all these multi-millionaires and billionaires. You think Warren Buffett is nice? You think Bill Gates is friendly? You think Kanye West and Kim Kardashian are like the nicest people ever? Like, come the fuck on, America. Get the fuck over it. I'm trying to make you rich, but it's hard because sometimes I try to tell people how to invest and why to invest, but then the weekend comes and the first thing they do is spend their money on what? So anyways, so finishing off with Ford, dog shit earnings, didn't like it. They're over there like, yeah, everyone wants the new Ford F-150. Everyone wants the F-150. Oh my gosh, demand is through the roof. And they're like, why didn't you make no money then? Well, what happened was the rare earth is just so expensive. Oh my God. It's so expensive. It's more expensive than eggs these days. Like, ay Dios mío, so expensive. And the lithium and the bitch ass lithium and then the copper price and the nickel price and the cobalt. Oh my God. Dios mío. They were over there crying on the earnings call. Everything is so expensive now. We didn't secure our supply chains in time. But didn't Elon tell you 5-6 years ago to start preparing your supply chain? We didn't listen to him. We thought he was a baboso. Oh, we thought Elon Musk was dumb. Oh, we thought Elon Musk was retarded. Oh, okay, so you were late to the game, even though Elon warned you for years. Okay, so now what? What are you doing with all these F-150s? We're building them, but slowly, because supply chain issue. And no one wants to give us any lithium, because they said they don't fuck with us like that. They said they don't like us. They said they only like Tesla. Why didn't we listen? And then Elon Musk on his earning call going, just like an asshole. So, you know, it is what it is. So good job, Ford, letting your investors down. So demand for the car is still really good. The problem is, like, they can't get the minerals in time, or, you know, they have to pay more and more for these fucking mineral prices. Why? Because they didn't secure their supply chains. So again, that for rare earth, I still like MP Materials. Where's MP Materials at? Because I'm not going to give you a price prediction on Ford. I don't give a fuck about Ford. Fuck them and their F-150. I'm Tesla all day, bitches. But yeah, MP Materials, let's look at the 1-year chart for MP. I think this is a good defensive name. A year ago, the stock was 38. Today, the stock is 33. So it's basically down like, 5% in a year? No big deal. I told you guys at the beginning of 2022 when we went into a higher interest rate environment, shit like this could happen. Could be up, could be down, but I still believe in MP Materials. So long-term price prediction for MP Materials, I think the stock is going to hit 1,000 by the end of the decade, because again, it's rare earth for a fucking reason. So if you want to be long-term, there you go. MP Materials, 500 to 1,000 by the end of this decade. Still believe in it. I've been saying that since 2020 when I was buying the stock when it was $11. Today it's 33. No big deal. And then the second one was Piedmont Lithium. A year ago, Piedmont Lithium, I told you guys to buy the stock when it was $55. Today it's $70. Congratulations, you're up 30% if you bought the stock a year ago when I told you when it was $55. Today it's fucking $70. Same thing, price prediction by 2030, probably 500 to 1,000. But again, I tell these people to buy these things, and I tell them to buy it when the stock is $10, $5, $20, $15, $11. I literally told you guys to buy MP Materials when it was $11, $12. You know, and some people listen and some people stay poor forever. So it is what it is. Now the stock is 33. It's been flat sideways for a year. It's a buying opportunity. It's a stacking opportunity. Every paycheck, every pay period, every time you get some moolah, dinero, ferio, keep buying more, keep buying more. That way you don't have to keep doing what you're doing today, tomorrow. And you can live the life that you want to live tomorrow. So with that being said, those are my price targets for both Piedmont Lithium and MP Materials. Ticker symbol for Piedmont Lithium is PLL, and then ticker symbol for MP Materials is MP. Both of them price targets end of the decade, 500 to 1,000. And then last but not least, Tesla. I've talked about Tesla enough. Demand is through the roof. China factories continue to explode with purchase orders. They're selling more Teslas around the world than any other company sells cars at all in the world. Tesla's on fire. Tesla's a monster. Tesla's a beast. It's a goon. It's a goblin. It's fucking destroying. It's a juggernaut. It's an unstoppable runaway freight train. This company is hitting on all cylinders. Tesla continues to be the past, the present, the future, the end all, the be all. Elon Musk and his team of engineers are outstanding. They're excellent, and they are absolutely executing to the highest degree. There is no competition. There is no fucking competitor. There is no fucking alternative. Ladies and gentlemen, it remains the beast and the monster. Tesla, short term, probably goes lower just because the stock market's going to go lower. That would be a buying opportunity. If you don't own Tesla or you want to buy more Tesla, I would wait, give it like a month or two, maybe 3 months, give it a little bit of time. Again, you know, you need patience, espérate that way, right? But just give it a little bit of time, 2-3 months, and I think you'll get Tesla probably under 150. If you can get Tesla under 150 or maybe even under 120 in the next 2-3 months, then to me that's worth waiting, right? Sometimes the most delicious things in life you got to wait for. You got to put time into, right? Patience, you know? But I think you guys will get a chance in the next 2-3 months to buy this stock under 150, maybe under 120. And if you get this stock under 100 or even under like 99.99, that's when you can start going ham. That's when you can start going crazy. And that's when you can start pulling the motherfucking triggers. Other than that, ladies and gentlemen, that's all I got. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you guys for listening. Thank you guys for riding. And thank you guys for trusting your one, your only, your motherfucking general. And thank you guys for always believing in me. Thank you guys for listening to the one, the only, the motherfucking general.